Have you ever wondered why some men, without saying too much, without trying too hard, somehow have women magnetically drawn to them? Not because they are the richest guy in the room, not because they're the most handsome, but because they know certain psychological truths about women that most men never figure out. Now here's my question to you. Would you like to learn these truths through the timeless wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and Stoic philosophy, so you can naturally attract women without games, without fake tricks, but with pure confidence and self-mastery? If your answer is yes, then stay with me until the end of this video, because what I'm about to share with you can shift the way women see you forever. These are not cheap tactics. These are deep psychological triggers, rooted in human nature and sharpened by Stoic wisdom. But before we dive in, let me quickly remind you, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and most importantly, watch this entire video, because one missing piece could be the difference between a woman seeing you as ordinary or becoming absolutely obsessed with you. 1. The power of emotional control. Let me ask you something personal. Think back to the very first time you fell in love. Do you remember how your heart used to race when she looked at you? Do you remember how nervous you felt on that first date? Worrying about every word, every gesture? Now here's the real question. Do you also remember the moments where you lost control of your emotions? Maybe jealousy, anger, or nervousness, and how it shifted the way she looked at you? If you're honest, you've been there. We all have. One small mistake, one small outburst, one slip of control, and suddenly, you could feel the energy change. Now picture this as if it's your own story. You're sitting across from her at a restaurant. Things are going smoothly, laughter, eye contact, connection. But then the waiter messes up the order. Instead of brushing it off, you get irritated. You frown, you complain. In your mind, you think it's not a big deal. But in her mind, she just learned something powerful about you. This man can be shaken by the smallest inconvenience. Now imagine the same story, but with a different version of you. Same restaurant, same mistake from the waiter, but this time you smile, lean back, and maybe say, well, maybe it's life's way of telling me to try something new today. You laugh it off, make her laugh, and continue the date. Do you see the difference? In her eyes, you've just shown her something rare: emotional control. Marcus Aurelius, one of the wisest Stoic emperors, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is not just philosophy, it's psychology. A woman will naturally feel more drawn, even obsessed, with a man who has mastery over himself. Why? Because deep down she wants to know that when life gets hard, and it always does, her man won't crumble. He won't panic. He won't explode. He will hold steady. Think about it. In your own love life, wouldn't you agree that the moments that built trust were not when everything was easy, but when things went wrong and you handled them with calmness? Emotional control is the invisible magnet of attraction. It tells her silently, I can protect you. I can protect myself. I won't let chaos control me. Now let me ask you another question. What if the reason past relationships didn't last wasn't because she didn't love you, but because she didn't feel safe with your emotions? That's a hard pill to swallow, but it's also empowering because it means you can fix it. You can change the story. Women remember feelings more than words. They won't remember every compliment, but they'll never forget the moment you lost your temper or the moment you stayed calm under pressure. Which memory do you want to leave her with? So from this moment forward, whenever you feel that spark of anger, that wave of jealousy, or that urge to snap, pause. Take a breath. Remind yourself, I am the master of my emotions. My emotions are not the master of me. 2. Mystery and restraint. Do you remember that girl you liked so much? The one you couldn't stop thinking about? Think back for a second. What was it that pulled you in? Was it her beauty alone? Or was it something else? Something you couldn't quite put your finger on? Maybe it was the way she didn't tell you everything at once. Maybe it was how she left pieces of herself hidden, making you curious to know more. That's the power of mystery. And here's the secret. The same psychology works the other way around. Women become obsessed with men who know the art of restraint. Not men who are fake, not men who play childish games, but men who understand that you don't need to give everything away all at once. Now let's put this into a story you can feel. Imagine you just met a woman and she asks you about your life. You could pour everything out right then and there. your job, your struggles, your dreams, your past, your plans. But if you do, what happens? You've given her the whole movie in the first 5 minutes. Where's the excitement left? Now picture the second version of you. Same woman, same moment. But instead of telling everything, you smile and give her just a piece. When she asks about your past, you tell her enough to intrigue her, but not enough to satisfy her curiosity. She leaves that conversation thinking, there's something about him I need to figure out. And that's when obsession begins, because her mind keeps replaying you, trying to fill in the blanks. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." What does this mean in attraction? It means that when you give her something to think about, when she has to imagine, wonder, and picture you in her mind, you live rent-free inside her head. Think about it. Haven't you yourself obsessed over someone not because they gave you everything, but because they gave you just enough to leave you curious? That mystery made you think about them at night. Replay conversations. Imagine what they meant by certain words. The same rule applies when you deal with women. The psychological trick here is restraint. Don't rush to reveal all of yourself. Don't over-explain. Don't drown her in your availability. A man who reveals himself slowly, piece by piece, is like a book she can't put down. Every chapter makes her want the next. Now let me ask you, in your past relationships, did you ever notice how attraction faded when things became too predictable, too easy, too available? That's because curiosity died. And when curiosity dies, desire soon follows. So here's what you do. Remain open but not overexposed. Share your stories but not all at once. Leave space for her imagination to do its work. Because when a woman starts imagining you, wondering about you, and filling in the blanks of your mystery, she's no longer just interested, she's hooked. Remember this, scarcity creates value. The less you give away too soon, the more priceless you become in her eyes. Purpose above pleasure. Have you ever dropped everything for a woman? Skipped a workout, ignored your work, delayed your goals just because she texted you? Hey, are you free right now? Be honest with yourself. Most men have. Maybe you thought, if I just give her all my attention, if I show her I'm always available, she'll love me more. But tell me, how did that turn out? Did she become more obsessed with you, or did she slowly lose respect? Sensing that you valued her more than your own life's mission? Now let's turn this into your love story. Imagine you're dating a woman. At first, she loves the attention. You're always there, always available, always ready to adjust your schedule for her. But as time passes, she starts to notice something. You don't seem to have a mission of your own. You don't seem to be chasing something bigger than her. And slowly she loses that spark for you. Not because she doesn't like you, but because she no longer feels that fire of ambition in you. Now picture the opposite version of you. Same woman, same relationship, but this time you have a purpose. Maybe it's your career, your craft, your business, or your personal growth. She asks you to meet, but you tell her honestly, I'd love to, but tonight I have to finish my work. Let's do tomorrow. And instead of being upset, something stirs inside her. She thinks, this man is different. He has something driving him that's bigger than me. And strangely, that makes her want you even more. Marcus Aurelius once said, a man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions. That's not just philosophy, that's psychology. Women don't obsess over men who are addicted to pleasure. They obsess over men who are committed to purpose. Why? Because purpose signals strength. Purpose signals leadership. Purpose tells her, this man knows where he's going, and if I want to be part of his life, I have to keep up. Think about it like this. If you were a ship, would you rather be one drifting aimlessly, pulled by every wave, or one sailing steadily toward a destination? Women are drawn to the second. A man with no mission looks weak. A man with purpose looks unstoppable. Now ask yourself, how many times have you abandoned your mission just to keep a woman happy in the moment? And did that actually build her attraction, or did it slowly kill her respect? Here's the truth. If you put pleasure above purpose, you'll lose both. But if you put purpose above pleasure, you'll gain both. She'll want to be part of your mission. She'll admire your drive. She'll crave your attention because she knows you don't give it away cheaply. You give it when you choose to, not when you're desperate to. So the next time you're tempted to skip your goals just to please her, stop. Remember, your purpose is your flame. And when you keep that flame burning bright, she won't just like you. She'll be obsessed with you. 5. Controlled indifference. Have you ever liked a woman so much that you put her on a pedestal? You texted her first every single time. You dropped everything when she called. And you made her the center of your universe. Be real, how did that work out for you? If you're like most men, you probably noticed something painful. The more you chased, the less interested she became. And the moment you backed off, or when life distracted you, suddenly, she came running back. Strange, right? But there's a reason. Let me paint this into your love story. Imagine you're talking to a woman. The first version of you is too available. She calls, you answer immediately. She cancels plans, you say it's okay, whenever you're free. You keep proving your value over and over, hoping she'll notice. But instead she starts pulling away. Why? Because deep inside, she feels you need her more than she needs you. Now let's picture the second version of you. Same woman. But this time you like her, yes, but you don't need her. You respond to her texts, but not instantly every single time. You enjoy her company, but you also have your own life, your own goals, your own priorities. And here's the twist. Now she starts wondering, why isn't he chasing me? Why doesn't he need me like the others? What makes him so secure without me? That curiosity turns into desire. That desire turns into obsession. Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Controlled indifference isn't about faking. It's about living truthfully, never bending your entire identity, just to win someone's approval. Psychologically, this works because of a simple law. People value what they cannot easily control. When you're desperate for her attention, she feels like she already owns you. But when you show her, through calm indifference, that you are whole without her, she begins to crave your approval. Think about your past. Haven't you noticed that the women you chased hardest are the ones who slipped away, and the women you weren't desperate for seemed to want you more? That wasn't an accident. That was psychology in action. Here's the trick. Don't confuse indifference with coldness. You don't ignore her. You don't disrespect her. You simply show her by the way you live that your happiness doesn't depend on her. You desire her, but you don't need her. You care for her, but you won't lose yourself for her. Controlled indifference is powerful because it flips the script. Instead of you worrying about losing her, she starts worrying about losing you. Instead of you chasing her attention, she starts competing for yours. And that's when obsession takes root. So the next time you feel that urge to chase, to overinvest, to prove yourself, pause. Breathe. Remember this. You are complete as you are. If she adds to your life, good. If not, your mission continues. That quiet confidence will make her chase you harder than any words ever could. 6. Unshakable confidence. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt small? Maybe you saw other men who were taller, richer, better dressed, or more popular. And in that moment, your confidence sank. You thought to yourself, why would she ever notice me when guys like that are around? If you've ever felt that, I want you to remember this. Women don't fall for the richest man, or the most handsome, or the most powerful. They fall for the man whose confidence cannot be shaken. Let's make this personal. Imagine your own love story. You're out with a woman you like. Another guy walks in, a little flashier, maybe even tries to flirt with her in front of you. The first version of you gets nervous. You start talking more. You try to grab her attention, maybe even get defensive. But she sees through it. She feels your insecurity, and instantly her attraction dips. Now picture the second version of you. Same situation. Another guy tries to get her attention. But you remain calm. You smile, maybe even laugh at the attempt. You don't compete. You don't panic. You know who you are, and no one can shake that. What happens now? She feels safe. She feels proud. She sees you as a man rooted like a mountain, unmoved by storms. And that, my friend, is the essence of unshakable confidence. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Do you see the depth of that? Confidence isn't about talking, showing off, or proving anything. It's about being. Being the man who knows his worth without needing external validation. Psychology backs this up. Women are wired to test men, not out of cruelty but out of instinct. She might tease you, question you, or even act distant at times. If you fold under pressure, if you beg, plead, or get defensive, you've failed the test. But if you stay centered, calm, and grounded, her respect and attraction for you grows. Think back, haven't you ever been drawn to someone? Not because of what they said, but because of the way they carried themselves? Their posture, their steady eye contact, their calm voice. Confidence is not about being loud, it's about being solid. So how do you build this unshakable confidence? Not by pretending, not by acting tough, but by keeping the promises you make to yourself. Every time you wake up and do the workout you said you'd do, your confidence grows. Every time you resist the temptation to beg for attention, your confidence grows. Every time you choose discipline over excuses, your confidence grows. Because confidence is not a mask, it's the result of self-respect. And when a woman sees that in you, when she sees that you don't get rattled, that you trust yourself, that you can walk through any situation with calm, strength, she doesn't just admire you, she becomes obsessed. So let me leave you with this. Stop chasing confidence in others' eyes. Build it within yourself. Because the man who stands firm within, emotional depth. Have you ever been with someone who only talked about shallow things, surface-level conversations, empty jokes, or endless chatter about money, cars, or status? At first it might be entertaining, but deep down you feel something missing, right? Because true connection isn't built on the surface, it's built on depth. Now let's bring this to your love story. Imagine this. You're sitting across from a woman you like. The lights are dim, the world feels quiet, and you're just talking. Not about sports scores, not about random gossip, but about life, about your dreams, your struggles, your fears, your lessons. And in that moment, she leans in closer. Why? Because she feels something rare. She feels your depth. Most men think women only want fun or status, but that's a mistake. Yes, excitement has its place. But when it comes to falling in love, when it comes to devotion, women give the air hearts to the man who makes them feel. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Look well into yourself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if you will always look." That's emotional depth. It's not about being perfect. It's about being real. It's about daring to look within and then letting someone else see who you really are. Think back. Has a woman ever surprised you by saying, "I feel like I can tell you anything"? That's not because of your looks. It's because of your emotional depth. You created safety. You gave her space where she could remove her mask. And that's when true love is born. Let me tell you a quick story. A man once told me how he went on a date with a woman who had been approached by countless guys before him. She was beautiful, admired, and used to shallow compliments. But what struck her about him wasn't his looks or his money. It was when he asked her, "What's your biggest dream? And what's stopping you from chasing it?" She froze, then slowly opened up. Hours passed. She shared things she had never told anyone. And in that moment she felt seen, not as a pretty face, but as a human being. That's the power of emotional depth. But here's the truth, it requires courage. Because depth means vulnerability. It means not hiding behind fake confidence or masks. It means saying, "Yes, I've failed before. Yes, I have fears. But I'm still here, stronger than yesterday." Women respect that kind of honesty more than 1,000 smooth pickup lines. So how do you develop emotional depth? Simple. Spend time reflecting. Journal your thoughts. Learn to sit with your emotions instead of running from them. Read philosophy, poetry, psychology. But most importantly, listen deeply when someone speaks. Don't just wait for your turn to talk. Listen with your heart. Because when you show emotional depth, you give her something no other man can. A connection that touches her soul. And once a woman feels that with you, she won't just want you, she'll never forget you. Final thoughts. These aren't cheap tactics, they are timeless truths. Marcus Aurelius lived by them. And if you apply them, you won't just attract women, you'll attract respect, admiration, and lasting love. So the question now is, will you remain the same? Or will you step into the higher version of yourself that women can't help but notice? With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.